Welcome to Point Horror Unleashed bonus chats. House of Bones. Now I tried to do like ley lines across my face, but it just turned out spooky, so that's okay. Right, let me add our special guests in. So excited to be talking about another Point Horror Unleashed. I'm really I think I added Cat in. I always think if I press the right button, hi Cat, woo!
Hello,
Are you okay?
I'm alright. Happy almost Halloween.
Happy almost Halloween, we're nearly there. Are you all ready for Halloween? Well, you're always ready, aren't you?
I know it's Halloween every day of the year in my house.
Yeah, I like that.
Love
Right, I
your
think.
makeup.
Oh, I tried to do like ley lines and that. Oh, spooky dawn.
Hello.
Yeah, I was trying and then I just went a bit wild and I thought, oh, I'll go with it.
It
Right.
looks creepy Frankenstein-ish.
I just had Kit in. Kit, where are you? There you are. Right. Oh, thanks, Matthew. I said we all look fantastic. Yeah. Right. Hopefully, Kit will be here. Am I going to magic him on the screen? Is it going to work? Kit! Woohoo! Spooky! That's some spooky lighting there, Kit.
It is spooky, isn't it? I just improvised it from what you can't see is it's a flamingo, but which is not a fundamentally spooky animal, but it does create a sort of like a sinister light.
That's so cool. I
Love
like
it.
that. Resourceful,
Thanks.
definitely. Oh, everyone's saying we look amazing. Thanks, guys. Well, yeah, thank you for joining us. We're going to be chatting about House of Bones, this Point Horror Unleashed, which was released in 1998. I do apologise if I mute occasionally, but I've got a cold, so I might need to blow my nose and get like makeup everywhere. So if I do, I'll mute so you don't have to listen to that because that is a horror sound all on its own. So I've got three fab guests, two of which are no stranger to our little book club, and one person who we've like hooked in and like captured and recruited into the mix. So we've got the brilliant Kat Ellis joining us. If you don't know Kat, Kat is the author of Harrow Lake. Super creepy. Wicked Little Deeds, also super creepy. And her new book, The Devouring Light, which is super creepy.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about Devouring Light, Kat, 'cause this has just come out, hasn't it?
Yeah, it just came out just in time for Halloween, of course. It's about two rival rock bands who get stranded when their tour bus crashes into a deadly swamp. They're marooned there with no shelter except this really spooky, creepy-looking abandoned house called The Light. But when they find themselves inside there, things aren't really that safe, and they get to understand that the house isn't going to let them leave. It wants them to stay forever.
Ooh, creepy houses. That's the theme. Oh dear. Oh, I've just pressed something on my screen. There we go. Oh no, it was really good, Kat. I loved it. Like all the like, it's perfect for Halloween.
Yay,
And
thank you.
yeah, so good. So check that out, everyone. And we have the brilliant Dawn Kurtagish, who's many books as well, the same as Kat, like tons and tons of books. You can go and check them out. So the Madness, which came out last year, was that, Dawn? I was
Yeah,
trying to think
that's
earlier,
August.
last year. And then the Thorns, which that cover is just, oh, every time I see it, I love it. Tell us a little bit about the Thorns, Dawn.
Yeah, so the Thorns follows 13-year-old Bethany Sloan. She is abandoned by her mother at a South African boarding school, and her mother barely even looks back. And in this dry, very desolate place, she's just yearning for connection. And she finds it in Stacey Preston, who is magnetic, enigmatic, fearless, dangerous, all the things that she wants to be. And so she feels chosen when she comes under Stacy's wing. And her and another girl in Stacy form a trio called the Thorns. And they play games that are not quite safe in the African bush. They're all of Stacy's invention. They're pretty dangerous girlhood games. And crossing lines they maybe shouldn't be crossing. And then 25 years later, Stacey is a best-selling author. She's disabled and she's got the worst writer's block she's ever had. And then she receives an email from somebody that she thought she had forgotten, Stacey Preston. And the past comes knocking at her door, including Glassman, the creature that they invented and she thought left behind, but maybe didn't.
Oh, perfect for Halloween. Everyone needs to
Definitely.
check the thorns out, definitely. Oh, so creepy. I'm not going to sleep tonight now.
Excellent.
And last but by no means least, we have the wonderful Kit Duffield, whose spooky book, Pretty Little Thing, came out last year, because we did a little Q&A about this one, didn't we? I think it was October last year.
It was, yeah.
As well.
It was similar time, yeah.
Yeah. And then your new one, The Hotel's just come out. So tell everyone about The Hotel.
So, The Hotel is a creepy destination thriller set in a boutique luxury hotel in Finnish Lapland, where each guest's experience is curated from their happiest memories. So let's say you're like a honeymooning couple and you turn up and the champagne in the ice bucket in your room is the exact brand you serve at your wedding. And then in the evening, the chefs serve you sort of like the perfect recreation of your first date down to the tiniest detail. And it all seems wonderfully romantic until, of course, everyone's secrets and lies start spilling out around them and chaos ensues. And I've been pitching it as White Lotus meets Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Because White Lotus is because it's rich people being catty to each other in 5-star hotels, and Black Mirror because they arrive and they're like, whoa, this hotel knows everything about us.
Oh, that's creepy.
Exactly. It kind of sours then into like, whoa, this hotel knows everything about us. Yeah.
Oh, creepy. So yeah, a whole range of books there for people to check out. All perfect for Halloween. And I just recommend them all, so do check them out. I saw Milena said Devouring Light is so good. Sharon said love Devouring Light. Teddy said love Dawn Curtigish books. Karen said I just finished Lily's Monster by Cliff McNish, and you would love, is that how you say it? I think you do. And you would love that for the creepy house vibes. Oh. Sharon said love the Thorns, so disturbing in the best way. Karen said that sounds great, I need to read the Thorns. And Karen said, oh my god, I want to go to the hotel. My room at the hotel will be filled with books and chocolate buttons. Or would it?
Or would it?
And Karen said, I'd never leave my room, so I'd be safe there, right?
Spoiler alert, you wouldn't.
Oh dear. We'll test it out, real life version with Karen and see what happens.
See how it goes. See if we all get sued. Yeah.
That's it. So there will be spoilers ahead for House of Bones. The tagline on this one is Home Sweet Home. Oh, which I kind of like. I think it's very fitting because it was Home Sweet Home. So obviously this is a 1998 horror novel by Graham Masterton. Originally published as part of the Point Horror Unleashed series, but it has been republished after that quite a couple of times, I think, and I believe in the US, which was perfect. Yeah, look at that creepy cover. Like,
yeah,
that is like really, I mean, that's creepy, but that's chilling, yeah. So the story follows our protagonist, 18-year-old John, a recent graduate who wants to be a rock star, but he's starting his first real job at a real estate agency, Blight, Simpson and Vane. On his first day, he makes a huge mistake when he's left alone, and he accidentally lends a prospective client a key to an off-limits house of the owner's, Mr. Vane's, off his exclusive property list. And none of Mr. Vane's employees are allowed any access to these properties, and John soon finds out why. So John and his co-workers soon discover that these properties are inhabited by sinister forces that cause the deaths of the residents, potential buyers, and even each other. Dum, dum, dum. So the book kind of starts off with these detectives discovering this unbelievable amount of bones inside the wall of the house. So what were your first thoughts after that first chapter? Did it intrigue you to want to read more, Kat?
Yeah, definitely. I thought felt that this was really different from other ones that I've read in the series because it starts off very much like a sort of crime procedural sort of feel to it, and I thought, oh, this is a bit different. So I was definitely intrigued to see where it was going to go. You don't even see John, the main character, in the first chapter, and I was like, ooh, where's he going to come in then? Yeah,
it's so much so, like, I thought by the time we got to chapter 2 it was like a flashback I did, but then it wasn't. How about you, Dawn? Did you like the first chapter, that whole opening of them finding the bones?
Yeah, I really did. I mean, obviously the cover gives it away. So like I knew that you were going to be sucked into the walls. But yeah, it was it was a different tone. As Kat said, we hadn't started a point horror way as far as I remember. It felt very grounded and real. And that was quite refreshing for a point horror, actually. Yeah. I was intrigued.
Yeah, and it's interesting that this was his only entry for the Point Horror Unleashed as well.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know how that came about. Like, did he specifically write it for the Point Horror Unleashed, or was it just coincidence, maybe? I'd love to know.
You need to get him on. So that
I know, I tried, and he was like, I'll do a little video, but I'm, I tried.
That was a lovely video, though.
I know, it was so sweet. I was really touched by it. How about you, Kit? Did you like that opening with finding the bones and the shot?
Yeah, you actually posted the other day the opening line where it like sets it in the South London suburbs, and it references the Vauxhall Amiga, and it's like very kind of mundanely British, and I liked that, like, partly because I used to well, my best friend's dad had a Vauxhall Amiga which we inherited from him. And we took it on, like, I'm in a band, and we took it on our first international tour, and then totaled it outside an IKEA in Croydon. And so I've got this like kind of sort of affection for that car. But I think that the kind of like the sort of Britishness of the whole thing is set up, and I thought, with, they like drink lots of tea and they talk about biscuits and like ride on double-decker buses, and it was very quintessentially British, which I liked.
Yeah, they do get over really well in that first chapter, don't they? Like, it's like London, it's very
Streatham,
British, as you say.
Clapham,
yeah, I love that. And that's what they tried to do with The Unleashed. They were all like UK authors, tried to set them like in UK settings, made them much darker than like the normal point horrors, which were more like lighter and fun, dare I say, than this. This is really dark. Oh yeah, but I loved it. I just loved how it started off. Just straight away we see all those bones, and yeah, you're like, oh, what's going on? How could there be so many? I thought there'd just be one or two.
Yeah, there's something the Detective Inspector Carter, or whatever rank he is, when he talks about, like, as a police officer, he's obviously seen a lot of like gruesome things, but this feels different. It feels like he's looking at a war, or the aftermath of a war. It's like, okay, the policeman is freaked out, which kind of sets the bar, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
The discrepancy also between the age of the bricks and the new bones.
Yeah,
so interesting.
Yeah, that's it. Because obviously, as it goes further into it, I mean, especially, I know I'm jumping a bit ahead, but especially towards the end where they say, one of the set of bones is fresh set of bones. Like, that was just, how old were some of these bones? Like, really, really old, definitely. Matthew said, did anyone else think Mr. Vane's name was a throwback to the picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde?
I did.
Oh, interesting.
I can't talk about.
I thought he was going to say, did it make anyone else think of that song, Calling Mr. Vane?
Yeah.
Calling
Mr. Raider.
Calling Mr. Ryan.
Oh, yeah, that's all I kept singing the whole way through. And he knows what he wants, and he wants it right now.
You know all the words. That's impressive.
You don't, Kit? You don't know all the words? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe they're in there.
Karaoke time.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Becky said the UK cover is fab. One of my favourite Point Horror Unleashed books. Yeah, so good. Melina said, I loved Point Horror Unleashed. There's so much gritty and real feeling. Yeah, that's so true. Coral Reef Books says, you all look so good. Yeah. Thank you. Matthew said the bones and skull stuck in the actual wall in the beginning was a really creepy way to start it. Yeah, definitely. So are you, I mean, this is a silly question really, but are you a haunted house fan? Like, if so, which I know you all are, what intrigues you about a haunted house? Dawn?
I think for me, it's the ultimate mystery, right? You know, it's like the oldest question: what is there life after death? What happens after death, if anything? We're still talking about it. So the idea that there's something that could prove it, I don't know. Also, there's something like, okay, so this is because I was raised in a religious setting, but there's this idea of like, okay, but is it a ghost or is it like a demon?
Yeah.
It terrifies me, and because I'm a masochist, I'm like, ooh, let's go look and see more.
Dawn's just like, come with me, let's go check it out.
Yeah, but you go first, Shelley, and I'll stay back and just have the camera.
Oh dear, we all know I wouldn't survive that, you know,
Yeah,
we know this. Oh,
We're the
I love
Liams.
that. Yeah, oh, honestly. Yeah, that would happen to me. That really would. How about you, Kit? Are you a haunted house fan? Would you stay in a haunted house?
I tell myself that I would.
I wouldn't.
Whether I actually would, I don't know. But it's like hands down my favourite subgenre of anything. Like, so for my first thriller, Pretty Little Thing uses a lot of haunted house tropes.
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with like buildings are kind of mundane, but they're also meaningful at the same time. And everyone has been in a building at some point, to make an obvious point. For me, there's nothing creepier than a kind of slow tracking shot of an empty building.
Yeah.
I don't know, have any of you seen that film, that I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House?
Yes.
Oh, I've heard about it, but I've not seen it.
Watch it on Netflix. I'm obsessed with it. But it's a lot of people dissed it because not a lot happens, but that's why I like it, because it's mostly just nothing happening in an empty house, which I think is the most spine-chilling thing. And that film does it beautifully.
Same with The Dark Song. Have you watched that one? A Dark Song?
No,
I haven't.
Same setup, like almost nothing happens.
Yeah.
But it's my favourite.
Right, that's going on my list.
That. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh dear.
Creepy.
I'll probably watch it during the day.
It's like a two-person cast.
Not before bed. Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna check those out. Definitely. Have you ever seen on whenever I go on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, those like drones that go into like abandoned theme parks? Like that.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Oh, that is so creepy. I think there's that one in China or Japan or somewhere where it's like got the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, stuff of nightmares.
It's like the juxtaposition of sort of something that was once filled with like laughter and small children, that is now empty.
Like liminal space.
Yeah.
Weird.
Creepy. And how about you, Kat? I know that you're a fan of haunted houses, the Devouring Light. So, yeah, why are you a fan?
Surprisingly, yeah, I am a big fan of haunted houses, and like Kit, my book has loads of tropes for like the haunted house thing in the Devouring Light, but with a little bit of a twist. It's not your traditional haunted house, but when it comes to real life, I've been on quite a few ghost hunts, haven't seen a ghost, but I've been to quite a few like reputedly very haunted houses, and I think my house is actually possibly haunted.
Yeah, I remember you saying this, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
I know for sure at least one person has died here, and only a few weeks ago I had kind of a creepy encounter where I thought I saw a man crawling out of my kitchen.
Cats!
But yeah, it was one of those, you look at it, your brain goes, what the hell? And then you sort of look back and then it's gone.
Do you sometimes think it's like, we need to stop writing these books because it messes with your brain?
I had a thing, conjuring something.
I was on holiday writing like really early in the morning in like Crete before the sun came up. So it was like gradually getting light, and it was just me in this like little, and my wife, but like she was asleep, in this kind of deserted village where we were very obviously the only tourists. And I was like tapping away writing my book, and someone appeared on a moped and just stopped outside the front of the house, right in front of me, and just didn't move for a really long time. And I was like, okay, I'm now in one of these books. But he was hidden behind a pillar. I eventually realised he was just taking a picture of the beautiful sunrise. I was like, I need to maybe chill out a little bit and like go and touch grass or something.
I love that. Oh, that would freak me out though.
The man crawling out the kitchen.
Yeah. Kat and I I used to arrange writing retreats every year. Do you remember that one we did in Scotland, Kat, in that mansion? That was freaking haunted. That place. Okay, so there was this one wing, and none of us wanted that room. And bless her, one of our friends arrived last, so she just had the room.
Oh no!
She was saying something about the wardrobe, and that room had such a weird feeling. The light bulb in the hallway went out a couple of times. It was haunted, I'm telling you.
Oh no!
It was so fun. People were like drunk and writing, so it made it even worse.
Yeah.
See, I think I could cope. If I was drunk, I think I could cope. Like, I'd be like, yeah, let's go ghost hunting. But normal B, no, definitely not.
See, I'm
too much of a win.
sober, so I'm like the friend who's very aware of what I'm
Oh dear! Oh no! Oh, it's giving me the shivers. And your story, Kat, with the man. Oh god, not sleeping.
Yeah, shadow
not sleeping tonight. No, look over one shoulder. Beck said I'd stay in a haunted house as long as it didn't suck me into the walls. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Sharon said that movie is pure vibes. I think Kit's
Pretty
suggestion may be done. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm definitely going to check that out. Matthew said we've definitely had ghosty stuff happen in this house, and more than one person who stayed here when it was a bed and breakfast had experiences in the rooms at night. Oh, what type of experiences there? I love how my mind just goes there. Like, I can't help it. It's like there's something wrong with me.
You make me feel normal.
Sharon said I lived in haunted houses. Whoa, I enjoyed it and I was never lonely. I love that, Sharon. Karen said we need a reading and writing retreat for the Point Horror gang. Oh yeah, that'd be so cool.
Please, let's do it.
We've got to do it. We're gonna have to sort it, definitely.
We'll talk, Shelley, you and me.
We'll sort something out.
Yeah.
So obviously our main character in this book, our protagonist, is John. So Point Horror Unleashed is always known to be different to the usual Point Horror in many aspects, you know, not just the darkness and the more horror vibes, but in this one we get like a male protagonist, which is quite unusual. So was this refreshing, and what did you think of John as our main character, Kat?
I liked him.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I hadn't actually noticed that there are a lack of male main characters in Point Horror.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I did like it though. I like a male main character from time to time.
Yeah. I know me and Dawn read the Yearbook by Peter Larangis, and we was like, oh, a male protagonist in a Point Horror. It's like really rare. It's normally like the girl's point of view, like all the time.
Yeah.
Ah, were you a fan of John, Dawn?
I liked him, bless him. I liked especially they set up right away that his mates were just like, you know, wasting their summer and just hanging out and having fun and kind of mocking him and making fun of him, and he's like, oh, I've got to make some money, and then we get his home story, and he's just so sweet, bless him.
Yeah, oh, he was.
Yeah,
I agree. He was really sweet. Yeah, bless
he was so
him.
nervous as well, like. Yes, Mr. Cage. Just so sweet.
Do you want a cup of coffee? Do you want tea? Coffee? Oh,
so cute.
And they're also horrible to him on his first day as well.
Oh, no.
Bless him.
How about you? Hazing at this point.
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Kit? Did you like John?
Yeah, I agree with you, Don. He's so sweet, and he was quite like kind of earnest, and like it obviously starts with him being like, I wanted to be the greatest rock singer who ever lived, but now I'm going to work in an estate agent's and be everyone's bitch and like make the coffee, which is such a kind of like landing down to earth with a clunk. But he says that thing in one of the early chapters where he talks about like writing to all the record labels and they all wrote back and said, interesting, but sorry. And it says something like he was mature enough to understand what that sorry really meant. It's like, that's really it's quite touching.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I just kind of imagine him like wearing a suit that's a little bit too big and just like getting everyone's tea wrong.
Oh,
I
so
thought he was sweet.
sweet. I loved him. And the way, like, at the beginning when we were introduced to him as well, like with those old friends from school, like taking the myth that he's got this job and that. And I thought, he's quite responsible. He's realised that, you know, he's not going to quite make it at the moment as a rock star, but you never know in the future. You know, you can have dreams.
I can't remember if is it like actually stated whether he's getting a job so he can give money to his family or just because his family is struggling. I can't remember, but to me it felt implied that he was like, mum's sick and you know, the family is struggling, so I need to be part of that. And like, that's very honourable, isn't it?
Yeah. He mentions getting experience as well, so presumably to get further along, you know.
Yeah, he's got his head screwed on. But I was going to ask,
integrity too.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, like, the personal aspect of his home life being shown as well, like, amongst everything that happens. Like, did you like seeing that little glimpse into his family life, Kit?
Yeah, it was really nice that I think it humanised him, and it also kind of.
Oh, Kit froze. It's a ghost.
Yes, my phone is haunted. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely goes. What was I saying? Oh, yes, it kind of reminds you that he's quite young, and you know, seeing him in the family scenario. And actually, I think if the book had been longer, then you could have gone deeper into that.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's a short book, so but I thought that was,
No, I agree with that. Definitely. How about you, Kat? Did you like seeing that glimpse of his home life?
I did. It sort of gave him more layers, didn't it? So you immediately get to know the kind of person that he is because of the way that, you know, his family is set up around him and the decisions that he's made to try and help them out. So yeah, you get that immediate insight into him because of his family. So yeah, like Kit was saying as well, I would have liked it if there had been enough scope to bring them back in a bit more into the story, but you know, obviously they got tangled up in mysteries with houses and bones in the walls
instead.
So many bones, so little time.
Oh, how about you, Dawn? Did you like that aspect of like normality for John, his normal home life?
I had to think about it because I was so into the mystery of it. I had to like go back and did anyone have the impression that his family was also a mechanism to show that he was a tiny bit sort of dismissed at home as well?
Yeah.
A vehicle to like bond him to his friends. Like, you know, I felt sorry for him. His dad was a bit dismissive and
it was a bit.
Yeah, it was only really when I thought about it though, because I was like, oh, let's get to the bones. What's happening?
Give me bones.
Yes.
I feel like as well his character kind of stays like quite consistent as well throughout the course of the book. He doesn't change, or I don't want to say he doesn't grow, because obviously he goes through quite a traumatic experience, but
he
still. Yeah, he still stays quite level-headed all the way through, really, I think. And I liked that about him, definitely.
He got a backbone, though. That came out, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was very brave, very brave. Yeah. Becky said, I had a lot of time for John. He uncovered the dark secret and set about trying to make things right. He was a sweetie. Yeah, that's so true. Sharon said John was kind and wanted to make things right. Aww. Melina said when John broke down in tears. Oh, poor John. I love how we all connected with John as well. I love that. Kirsty said maybe he had a suit from Burton's. Oh, I love that. Sharon said, "Oh, Burton's the shop of the new employed." Becky said it made a change to get a glimpse of his home life. Most point Harrows had absent parents and families. Yeah, that's true. And Claire said, anyone else really worry about his parents when the statue turned up there?
No.
Yeah.
Just left.
Dawn's like, no.
I did think, oh, he's putting a lot of trust in the statue to follow them, but I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, Claire thought he just left them there because he just goes off, doesn't he? Oh, I love that. So obviously John soon develops like friendships with his co-workers, so Lucy, Liam and Courtney. So do you think they all added a good mix in alongside him and as a group? Like, did you have a favourite out of the group, Dawn?
I really liked Courtney. I loved Lucy. Let me put it out there. I really loved Lucy. I like how she wasn't immediately his friend. She sort of tested him a bit and she was feisty.
Yeah.
But Courtney was so great. And I have to add that halfway through, I started listening to the audiobook, and the audiobook narrator of Courtney was really good.
Oh,
She was really
wow.
funny. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know why. He was just a bit of a joker. And
Yeah, I felt Courtney was underused a little bit, like for about the first half of the book.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Kate came into his own towards the end. Definitely, love that. How about you, Kit? Did you think the group was a good mix?
I was going to say Courtney as well, actually, because I think he's one of those classics, kind of like a Jack the Lad, who you kind of know has a heart of gold underneath it. Like, he talks about Rolexes and getting a Beamer.
Yeah.
But actually, like on the first day, he offers to buy John a McDonald's just because he can tell that he's hungry and won't have any money, which is like really sweet.
Yeah.
And I liked in general that they were likable young estate agents. Like, typically, stories about estate agents tend to be sitcoms because they're these figures of ridicule.
Yeah.
But actually, they were all quite sweet. And like at the end, are we allowed to talk about the end? We are.
Yeah. Spoiler
when they all decide, let's go and make our own estate agents. We're going to collect naps, and it's going to be honest. I just thought that was quite endearing.
Years and whatever it was, French.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, how about you, Kat? Did you like the mix of friends? Who was your favourite?
I did. I thought they were a great group of friends, especially, because it was his first big job, and they sort of, despite the first day being a little bit of, easing, shall we call it that. After that, though, they were just all really sound with him. And I think, for me, I mean, I'm gutted to say this, but my favourite was Liam. I thought he was so nice.
I love Liam.
He was like the first one to believe John when he like put his neck on the line, didn't he? Quite literally in the end. And I
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
You can't take that back. You can't unlaugh that one.
I liked it so much that when Liam got, unfortunately sucked into the wall, I thought, well, it's got to be that, a bit of a race against time. If they get him out quickly enough, he'll be okay. He was not okay.
No, he really was.
Some of the fresh bones.
I love Graham's description of him having bottle green eyes.
Yeah.
So vivid. That was probably one of the main things I remembered from the whole book. And something, I don't know, quite sort of like innocent about that, and I think that made his death was actually quite affecting.
That whole death scene,
he was like, "You wait here, or I'll go look."
Oh, yeah, Liam was my favourite, but that whole death scene of him being sucked into the wall, the way Graham wrote that scene, that was terrifying. Like, I don't know whether it was just me, because obviously, as I mentioned, I've not been feeling very well, so I've had a little bit of a fever, and I read that scene just before bed, and I went to sleep, and I woke up in the night, and I was like, whoa, the dreams. But the way he described it, honestly, that got me. I had to just take a breath after I read that scene. Oh, it was terrifying. Yeah.
There was a little detail in that about his foot twitching like a stag who's just been shot. It's like, that is brutal.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get, like, if we didn't have Liam's kind sacrifice in the book, we had to do it, didn't we? Because at the end of the day, from a writer's perspective, I guess you've got to have that personal element that's going to then deter the characters on to be, to try and find out what's going on. Because without that, I think they'd just be like, meh. Do you know what I mean? So that gave it that like edge, didn't it? That hook for them to be like, we need to avenge Liam. Yeah, poor Liam. Bless
Skin
him.
in the game. Otherwise, it's just curiosity driving.
Yeah, definitely. Becky said, "Oh, Liam with a broken heart." Yeah. Matthew said Lucy sure did warm up to John. One day she's going on a date with her boyfriend but cancels to go with John, and the next day John's kissing Lucy. What? Wait, John kissed Lucy? I must have missed that.
It was like a kiss goodbye, though, wasn't it? That's how I read it.
Oh, was it?
I did also pause at that moment, like, oh, the kiss, and I was like, oh, maybe it's like a British kiss where you like kiss goodbye.
But they were also
like
friends at one point.
They were. I never read it as romantic for some weird
I
reason.
didn't. I read it as platonic, like,
Me too.
like a friendship.
I read it
maybe
as
that's
like
because
warming
John
up
was
to
so-
like a romantic thing.
Oh, interesting.
How weird. I didn't read that at all.
So
I think it's because John is so innocent, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's because we love John so much. That's what it was.
He
So
also he never talks about her that way.
No,
Like,
he doesn't.
we're following his perspective, and he never like speaks about her that way.
Yeah. Would you have liked them to? Are you glad there was no like romance in the book as such, or did you want there to be a little bit of a thing between them, Dawn?
I love romance in a book, but no, I thought this was perfect. Again, I really didn't read any romance at all. But again, if there was, it went way over my head.
Yeah, it went.
Same.
Same.
I liked it as them as friends.
Yeah. How about you then, Kat? Because you read it slightly different, but you thought there was something maybe leading up to it. Would you have liked them to have got together?
Well, in my head, they did after the book ended. So I thought it was handled perfectly for my taste.
Oh, nice.
Because I liked that they were friends, and it seemed, at least to me, and it may just be that I was looking for it because I do love romance, but it seemed to me like they were warming up to something more.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do we know how
old
Lucy was?
I took it she was a little bit older than John. That's how I took it. But, you know, he was 18, wasn't he? So maybe 19, something like that. I just took it she was just slightly older than him. Maybe. How about you, Kit? Would you have wanted them to get together?
Yeah, I also read it as platonic, although sort of, I read it sort of 2 months ago, and a lot of it has like escaped my brain. So I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking, actually, is there anything in there? Which it sounds like maybe there is. I think it's kind of an undercurrent.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I like that Graham didn't go there, and it felt like restrained that he either left that to imagination or just wasn't intending for them to be. I think there's something quite nice about, you know, a sort of male-female dynamic duo, especially because she began by being quite sniffy towards him and sort of side-eyeing him and being, I hope you know how to make coffee. And then they end up as these kind of partners in crime.
Yeah.
But yes, I think what he's done fairly cleverly from what we're discussing now is left it open to interpretation and can be read in different ways.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's intentional or an editorial note.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about that.
Yeah. Oh.
I wish we could ask him.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We've got so many questions.
Yeah.
Claire said, I love the description of Mr. Cleats, who his stare could kill a tortoise. I mean, what kind of stare are we thinking here? Like, stare or like, I mean, what could kill a, not that I want to kill a tortoise, but what could kill a tortoise? Like, that
it's like such a precise description that's also somehow completely inscrutable at the same time. It's like, what does that actually mean? And does that mean it can only kill something that moves very slowly? And what does that tell us about the nature of the stare? I don't know. I think it's just a joke, a really good joke.
I'm going to use that in the future, definitely.
When you think of the hair in the tortoise, right? So like a hair stare is very wide.
Yeah, definitely. Oh.
I suppose they live for they live for a really long time, don't they?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the point of it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe I'm being too literal here, but I just sort of took it to be like his stare was like that laser focused it could even break through a shell.
Yes, there is
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Despite such a
We're
clever
overthinking it.
description.
It's just very
My
layered.
thoughts are like low.
Multiple layers, multiple. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Cleats, then, like, what are your thoughts on him? We can talk about his ending if we want to, but like, what did you think of him as a character? Did you like him? Were you glad that he at the end? Cat?
Well, because of what he'd done, then I was glad that he, croaked at the end. But he wasn't your standard sort of villain, was he? He had a good side to him. He had some redemption arc in there, and he was fair, at least, to his employees. So he wasn't terrible, even though he was at times a bit mean, definitely kind of annoying. But yeah, he was quite an interesting character. But yeah, I was quite glad when he died at the end.
Yeah, yeah, I was. But I agree, he was quite an interesting character. Like that scene, obviously when he's found out everything and John goes, because they keep going back to the estate agents. I wouldn't go anywhere near it after everything that had happened. But then when he goes into the estate agents and he's just like staring because he's thinking, oh, what do I do? Because I am being blackmailed by Mr. Vane because of some dodgy will thing that he'd done with some old lady. But you can see, I really felt like his thought process in that moment, whether that's a selfish thought process or whether he was just torn, wasn't he, what to do. But he should have made the right decision, really. Shouldn't I? How about you, Dawn? Did you like Mr. Is it Mr. Cleats or Mr. Keats? Cleats.
Cleats. Good old Cleety, as they call it. I love that.
Cleety.
That was so funny. I liked him as the archetype where you have John, who's like never wavers, he's completely moral, he's always gonna do right. Mr. Cleet is like the guy who found out but didn't say anything, and he's wavering.
That's so true.
And then you have Mr. Vane, who's like the evil force, and then who's like, oh, I'm tired of it now, and he's my replacement, so I can die. So I thought that was really cool as like a triple archetype of the three moral arguments for something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
this.
I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah, that's so true.
He was so jittery and weaselly. I just found him really funny. I don't think I was meant to, but I just did.
So, I mean, that whole scene at the end, I know I'm jumping ahead, but when he's like being sucked through the ground and he's like, help me! You can just imagine him like, it's like,
because I audiobooked it, right? So the audiobook narrator going like, help me, get me out! It was read really funny to me.
I need to listen to it, that scene on audio. Just to experience it.
He had to die though, like it had to
yeah, definitely. Yeah. How about you, Kit? What did you think of Mr. Cleety?
I almost kind of felt sorry for him in a way, because he's just this like classic kind of middle manager, sort of bit of a job's worth, like trying to play by the rules, and he's not an evil guy, but he's like complicit in the evil of the sort of guy at the top, which is, broadly how all corporations work. It's like you got the guy at the top who's genuinely evil, and then everyone else underneath is just a cog in the machine. But they're part of it, and he's just a bit of a blank canvas. And so he's exactly what Mr. Vane needs, someone who will who wants to do things the way he's been told to do them, because that's a hierarchy and that's important.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he's a bad person, but he's obviously quite weak, like weak-willed and sort of hapless. And but he felt at the time when I was reading it kind of boring, but the more you think about him, I think the more interesting he is as a character, because of that thing you were saying, Dawn, about where the three of them fitting together into this sort of like moral sandwich. And it's like,
it's such a good analogy, that is. I'd never thought of it like that.
Think about where you yourself would fall, like really actually think about it. If this was really happening, no one's going to believe you, your life's at stake, you've got family that's like, what would you actually do?
Bleating, 100%. That's who most of us are, I reckon.
People, no matter what people think, most people would be Cleety. I love Cleety. Cleety. It makes me think of something far dirtier, but
there we go again.
Why do you think I was saying it so slow? I was like, don't slip this one up, Shelley. Don't do it.
I'm practicing it in front of the mirror. Not again.
So
Not this
funny.
week.
Oh,
It'd be
you
so
know what I'm
interesting to
like?
see who they would cast as this character if it was a movie.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
like, how do you picture someone like that, right?
That's so true. I saw Claire said Liam's death was so intense with his crying face. Matthew said, just the thought of getting sucked into a wall sets my neck hair on end. I'm claustrophobic and just can't imagine it. Yeah, like the thought of it. Oh. Becky said Liam was. Oh, no, Liam was so innocent. This is what made his death so much harder. Poor boy, that stayed with me. I hadn't read this book since borrowing it multiple times in my teens from the Laser House Library. Matthew said, and also because he was still talking. Oh, yeah, this is Liam. He was still talking as he was getting. I'm going to rephrase what you've written, Matthew. You're trying to set me up. Also because he was still talking as he was getting sucked into the wall right in front of John.
Yeah, I read that and went,
Nearly caught me out there. Oh dear.
But it's so disturbing as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it triggered a thought. You know, Mr. Cleet, when he's being sucked in at one point, his lungs are gone and he can't like move to breathe, and he's making this wheezing sound. That to me was like mirroring the kicking foot in the beginning. It was like really
just terrifying. Just terrifying.
Yeah.
Sharon says she's always glad when there's no romance. Slappy face.
Sharon.
Melina said I read it like Kat did. I think about the romance blossoming. Claire said I'm glad they didn't get romantic. It left more time for the horror. It added to the sense of panic to stop the deaths. No time for romance. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, imagine that they'd done that thing where they like stopped to kiss for a while when all this horror.
Or they're being chased by a statue. Yeah. I think also, like going back to John, because he's someone of like integrity, I think he wouldn't be distracted by being a horny teenager at a point where there's something more important happening. Even though I think maybe the more we talk about it, he's a bit in love with her.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about for him.
No, definitely. And I kind of imagine like if they played it out as a romance as well, like in a film, there'd be like a really slowed down version of Mr. Vane, you know, like Traitor style, the way they do the music over like a bit of a romantic scene. Like, Mr. Vane. Vane. Yeah, something like that. That's how I imagine it in my head.
Right,
anyway.
we're going to direct the film now.
I'm full of romance ideas, I am. Matthew said, I was glad Mr. Cleets got it in the end. He deserved it. Becky said, I felt for Mr. Cleets. He knew, and yet he was too scared to do anything to make it right. I feel his ending was right. There was some redemption, but he wasn't a saint. Yeah, that's so true.
He also didn't have Lucy, Courtney, Liam, all these people believing him. It's just him alone.
Yeah, that's so true. Claire said Mr. Cleets didn't deserve a happy ending, but you could really feel his despair. Yeah. And Claire said Mr. Cleets is a bit of a Renfield character. If he wasn't called out and ultimately killed, then I could see him living his life to Mr. Vane's demands and possibly locked up eating flies. Yeah. And Kirsty said the fact they teased Liam's death at the start too. Oh, did they? Oh, I must have missed that. Tell us, Kirsty. Tell us. So obviously this book is like steeped in mythology. And it delves into like namely druids and ley lines, with the houses all being built on ley lines. So did you like that mythology aspect? Did you know much of this side of the mythology, Dawn?
Yes, I do actually. It was so nice to see it too.
Yeah.
I wrote a book in 2009 all about ley lines and specifically the mythological side of it, not like the practice, because ley lines started as being like an agricultural thing that they speculated that they were either line of sight, like routes for trade and things, and then later in like the 60s and 70s they mythologized it with like neo-druidism and stuff.
Oh wow.
So I had done all this research. It was kind of a blast from the past seeing it again, but I've never put druids and ley lines together, so that was really interesting. I wish I could have spent a bit more time on that, to be honest. And I wonder if it was maybe a word count restraint thing or a pacing thing. I kind of would have liked a bit more of it.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you that. Is that normally something? Because I don't really know much about that side of mythology. I mean, I've done a bit of research now because I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. But I was like, is this a thing that druids and ley lines normally go together? Or is this just he's done it in this book? So that's really interesting that you say that.
Yeah, I mean, people have sort of put them together, but it's not common at all.
Okay.
Ley lines were sort of became mystical in the 60s around sort of like the earth movement and things, but I hadn't seen it linked to druidry at all, and I couldn't find any books about it, so I'm definitely going to go research. So I'm thinking he put them together for the book, which is really clever.
It's really made me intrigued as well to learn more. How about you, Kat? Did you like that aspect of the mythology? Did you know much about it?
I don't know as much as Dawn knows about it. I was a little bit. I wasn't sure about the way that druidry is sort of framed as being evil and defeated by Christianity.
Well, it's problematic.
It was dicey because druidry is still a recognised faith. So I wasn't sure about that aspect of it, but I loved the more mythological, the tying in of the ley lines, the statue, and the fact that they bring in druidry is, it's interesting. It's not something that you see every day in a point horror book. So I loved that there was something new introduced. So I love that.
It's funny enough you bring up about the Christianity and the faith, because when me and Josh were watching Charmed and chatting about it a couple of episodes ago, there was an episode which was very heavy on the Christianity side and like the demons and like kind of like blurring that line, but kind of saying Christianity would beat the demons essentially. And I think Josh was saying like around that time, so 98, 99, there was a big push on in television to show at least one episode where there's like Christianity and things like that. So I wonder if that suffered a little bit in this book, like he was made to put it in. Is what I'm trying to say.
Reaction against the Satanic Panic, right? Of like the 60s, 70s. So and also, I mean, he was mentioning like the druids were sacrificing and stuff. That wasn't proven until very recently. So that also was like a dicey attempt to sort of claim. Now we actually have evidence for that. I think the National Geographic did a whole big thing on it. So now we know that this was done, I think. Like, don't quote me. But I did have to research it for the wellness retreat that's coming up next year. So I did also sort of have a moment of pause, but in terms of just if you put aside that, it is kind of interesting what people believe in, because it's all what you put your faith behind, right? It could have been Jewish things, it could have been, any religion that you decide to hold the symbols of.
That's so true.
It's a product of its time.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Kit? Did you like that whole mythology aspect?
Yeah, well, this is really interesting to hear, because it's not something I know much about. I'd heard of ley lines, but that to me is just kind of conjures up the image of like grey-haired old men with like metal detectors and divining rods and stuff. So those things are probably sort of connected, but not really. But I like the idea of these lines crisscrossing the country and connecting these distant places. I thought that was very evocative. Someone, I think it's probably Mr. Vane, describes it as like a scream running from one end of the country to another. And the fact that it's like underground is
reminds me of the dead highways in Book of Blood. Do you remember? Like the dead have highways.
Oh yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that, because the spirits were like traveling along the ley lines. I wonder if that was an influence.
Yeah, because it is weird to think that there could be. I mean, I think we had this discussion when we did the Vanished Dawn, which is another point Horror Unleashed, about things underneath you, like right at this moment. Like thinking about what could actually be underneath. You just don't know.
Yeah, like, they were feeling the things under their feet.
Things under there, you just don't know, do you? Oh dear. Kirsty said, "Oh, the little snippet before the story starts."
Yeah, it's like right on the first page, isn't it? Like
So
here.
that teases.
Yeah.
Oh, that teases Liam's. Of course, yeah. See, I didn't notice
didn't read
that. No, I didn't. Well spotted, Kirsten. Matthew said, "I love the druid and occult aspect. I love folk horror, and this had a good dose of that, and that made me love it even more." Matthew also said The Children of the Stones is another book/television series that deals with ley lines, stone circles, and druids. Oh, okay. I think you told me. I think Matthew messaged that to me the other day. Is it Dr. Drab? I don't know whether I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. Enjoyed. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Dawn's mum. Enjoyed reading about ley lines again. Dawn's mum said, "I love that."
Oh, she knows loads about this stuff.
Oh,
Loads.
wow.
She's a genius.
Well, funny, me and Kev was talking about it earlier because I was trying to explain to him what the book was about. And I was like, "Oh, what do you think of this question and that?" And so then he started researching ley lines, and he was like, "Look, it was blowing my mind." He was going, "Look at this." So I think we're going to go down a rabbit hole. That's our romance. That is, romance is not dead. Kirsty said, although we're still on the cusp of the whole satanic panic thing around Point Horror publication time. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, Matthew said, cusp of satanic panic where I live right now, I think. Oh, Matthew's in America, bless.
Some of that in the States, yeah.
Yeah. People have gotten very anti-Halloween in the area where I live in Virginia. Oh.
That's such a shame. So much
yeah. Kirsty said Kit needs to read The Raven Cycle for more ley lines. Oh, I haven't read that.
I haven't either.
She'll write that down.
Yeah, definitely. Claire said, I love folk horror, so really enjoyed these aspects of the book, although there's a lot of creative license taken with the Druid lore and historical references. Because I know Claire messaged the other day saying, "Oh, this has made me go and research stuff." So that's really cool that it's made us go and look these things up as well. Becky said, Kit, we recently linked ley lines and old ways in a group we are in. You never know. What's that? Explain, Becky. I don't know whether I've read that right. Dr. Rab.
Dr. R.A.B.
Yeah. R.A.B. Sorry.
R.A.B. like in Harry Potter.
Oh dear. Kirsty said benefit of reading it today, so that's how she noticed that thing. Yeah. So obviously we meet Uncle Robin, who is the man who seems to know everything about ley lines and druids. He even wrote a book on it, apparently. So obviously we're presented very quickly with a lot of information that he relays. So was that a good way how to get it all across, or was it too much information in one go for you, Kat?
Well, he was quite a useful device, wasn't he? He imparted a lot of knowledge. He was very convenient to the story, that they just happen to have somebody on hand who can provide all of this background information that's going to help them. So, I mean, there was that aspect of convenience.
Yeah, it was convenient.
A little bit of side eye, just a small one. But yeah, he served his purpose. He was like the Giles to the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
Until the end, where he turns out to be a little bit more sort of working on a sinister agenda.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think his goal was at the end? So obviously, jumping to the end, the very, very end, he gets obviously the brick that's been saved by Lucy. So what do you think his agenda is there? Is it just to preserve it, or?
Well, I kind of assumed that he wanted the whole immortality thing for himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I thought, sinister. How about you, Kit? Did you think it was a lot of information all in one go that he gave out?
I didn't mind that so much. I mean, I did think, the convenient uncle. And I thought that about him for most of the story, and until the end, which I thought was really interesting. It kind of, because initially I thought, he's a sort of Gandalf character, but then really he was more of a Saruman at the end, which in many ways was one of my favorite things about the book. That this guy that you think, he's a plot device, he's a bumbling old, actually, like, I mean, again, we don't know exactly what he's planning, but it's probably not good. Or even if his intentions aren't bad, it's not going to end well for anyone.
Yeah.
Which, I like that.
Yeah.
It kind of almost made you say, you thought he was just a convenient plot device, didn't you? Actually,
yeah. I did feel a bit like that when I got to the end. I was like, there was me thinking, how convenient. And then, he turns out a bit evil. How about you, Dawn? Did you
basically exactly the same?
Exactly the same.
I had this sinister feeling, obviously, at the end, but it was more like, is this man so curious that he has the potential to be tempted in the way that John didn't, right? I didn't feel like it was, he's setting out just explicitly to be evil and do these evil things. I read it as more like, shit, here, sorry, my
That's all right. I'll say worse things.
Here is like the temptation with a big T. Here is someone who maybe would have taken Mr. Vane's offer.
Yeah, not to harp on about Lord of the Rings, but thinking about it, there is that scene, isn't there, where Gandalf says, Frodo offers it to Gandalf, and he's like, "Do not tempt me, Frodo." Because he knows that it could turn his power into something just abominably evil.
Yeah, because when you've got something that powerful in your hands, like, it's that temptation, isn't it, to use it for...
Well.
That is such a great scene.
I love it. Such a good analogy too.
Yeah, and he does make such a big thing about preserving the history as well. Well, the best way to preserve the history is to bring them back, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
So I just wondered as well. Now I got a little bit confused, so I'm hoping you're gonna explain it to me. But that creepy wooden statue with the porcelain face. So obviously, what did you think of that? Was that a good aspect? Because I got a bit irritated by it in the end. I was like, oh god, he's back again. Especially like right at the end when he does come back after he's been burned.
Yeah.
What did you...
He's sort of a drunk uncle at a wedding kind of figure.
Always there in the background. But the reason why I got confused with the creepy statue was I thought that obviously it's Mr. Vane who's controlling the statue, but I thought they could only follow the ley lines. The statue could only follow the ley lines, but he was popping up like here, there, and everywhere. So I was like, I must be wrong. But what did you think, Dawn? Did you like the whole statue aspect going after them? I found it a bit weird.
Like with most horror, I found it very creepy until the statue was revealed, right? And
yeah.
when it was a thing that you didn't know what it was, I thought maybe the white face was Mr. Vane or a ghost or something.
Yeah, I thought it was like a death mask or something like that. Yeah.
The statue itself, again, I just found really funny. I understand the explanation, right? Okay, in this lore, the Druids can inhabit something made of oak, but why the porcelain face? It seems so strange to me. Like, why? And then also, you know what it felt like to me? It felt like, okay, we need something that's corporeal because Mr. Vane's just a skinny guy. We need something that's going to be able to travel through these walls. And so I know I'll invent this thing to fit. That's sort of how it felt to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't actually think about the fact that his house wasn't on the ley line, and
I just got really like wrapped up in it all in my head.
So, like, yeah, because they did make this thing about that he can travel on the ley lines, but these houses weren't.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
I've done something good.
Again, I would love to ask him, like, what was the mechanics there?
It was just my confusion. I was like, and then for me, that just killed the whole vibe of the statue because I was just like, he's just like rapping on the door at 2 a.m. of the uncle's house, knock, 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 and the uncle just like, I'm going to go and answer the door, and it takes John to go, no, don't answer the door.
It reminds me of the silent companions in the silent
Yeah.
companions, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit confusing, wasn't it?
Yeah. What did you think out of the whole statue scenario?
When I first saw it in the book, immediately I thought of a golem. It was like a golem type of thing, you know,
Yeah.
made out of clay and like sent off to do its master's bidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, so I think he maybe done just like a sort of druid version of that.
Yeah.
That was where I sort of assumed that he got the inspiration from. With the moving on the ley lines, though, again, I don't know if it's just me with my very simple way of thinking about things, but I just assumed that the statue was using the ley lines as like a tube system, so he'd get as close as he could and then just run over to the house.
Yeah.
Best of
But
ding!
the distance
My
between,
stop. Yeah.
because the distance between Uncle Robin's house where he turns up and the other house is pretty quick, and like they had to
Yeah.
drive the distance. I don't know.
The
Yeah.
statue
Yeah, that
driving
makes
in the
sense.
car.
And then, like, even when they go off in the car, like, surely the statue would have been able to find them. Like, I don't know, it lost me. The statue thing lost me at that point. It was scary to start with, but then it just lost me a little bit.
Was a reason for the porcelain face ever given? Did I miss it?
I didn't notice anything.
I didn't know. Was it actually porcelain or just very smooth? Because I thought it was just
It
like
was.
very
He
smooth
describes it as
wood.
porcelain, I think.
Because at the end, when
It falls off.
it falls off, doesn't it? So, like, the mask, kind
Yeah.
of falls off.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, how about you, Kit? What did you think of the statue?
Yeah, Dawn kind of took the words right out of my mouth. Like, it was creepy until it started walking around, and then it just became hilarious.
It became funny.
Like that description that we're just talking about, where he uses the word porcelain, and I think I read it again today and was like, are you saying it's porcelain-like or actually porcelain? It's a little unclear.
Yeah.
That in that moment, I think John describes it as like eerily calm, and it's creepy. But then once it starts walking around, it's like a sort of wind-up toy at Christmas that's just bumping into walls.
Yeah,
it was bizarre. It was slightly irritating. You're like, oh, the statue's. Can someone like amuse the statue while we deal with the important narrative?
Yeah. I would much have preferred them to use Mr. Vane a little bit more and make him like somehow, I don't know.
He could have inhabited. He could have had something inside him, or
that's it. Yeah, and he releases it and goes and like a little golem type thing, like Kat said. Yeah, definitely. Claire said, I reached the origin. I'm sorry. Claire said, I researched the origins of not stepping on pavement cracks, and it was rooted in the belief that cracks were portals to the supernatural realm, so stepping on them could bring harm to your family.
That features heavily in this, by the way.
Yeah, in the thorns.
Yeah.
So step on a crack, break your mother's back. So this, oh, I love that. Matthew said, I loved Uncle Robin from the gnomes in his yard. And I learned something new, that if you have a lot of gnomes, it's called a gaggle of gnomes.
Oh, I love that. I need a gaggle in my life.
I don't know whether that was just a thing in the book or a thing, but I need a gaggle of gnomes. So from the gnomes in his yard to the rickety house to his convenient expertise on druids. Every family has a druid expert, don't they? Claire said I went down so many rabbit holes. Matthew said Uncle Robin said he wanted to talk to the druid, so I inferred he would do that and they would weasel in and corrupt him and he would be the new Mr. Vane. Yeah. Becky said I loved Uncle Robin, bit of a wrong un or just a curious mind. Yeah. Claire said I thought Uncle Robin was a great addition and saved days of the characters researching in the library. Melina said, I thought the statue was very Doctor Who-esque. Yeah, so like the Weeping Angels. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Matthew said, I thought Doctor Who. Claire said, I thought the statue was eerie at first, very Doctor Who Weeping Angels, but it just got irritating after a while. And I did chuckle when he was flailing about with no face. It's just like, Becky said the statue was the manifestation of Mr. Vane's will. Oh, okay, so he made that happen. I think initially it seemed like it could only move along the ley lines, but turned up at John's at night. Not right, yeah. Melania said yes, the silent companions.
I like Kat's analogy of the tube stop, though. That
yeah,
makes sense.
I like that.
Makes sense.
That helps. That helps me think. Oh, okay, actually, yeah. Becky said, not a perfect villain, that one. It should have been limited with its creepy porcelain face. Love the silent companions, by the way.
That's a good one.
LaBelle, I'll just say LaBelle, said in some parts of India, some local cultures celebrate a version of Day of the Dead called Boot. I'm not even going to butcher that. But it says the 14th day of the lunar cycle. Oh, okay. Matthew said, I thought they said the mask was ivory. Oh, so we've got different aspects. Yeah. Claire said the thorns is next on her list. Yeah. Karen said, hang on a sec, if I step on a crack, I'd get portal to a supernatural realm. Sam and Dean Winchester, here I come. Yeah, we're joining you. So just quick, because I realise I've gone way over time, but the whole ending then, so obviously I'm talking about the ending where Mr. Vane takes John to the house to do some viewings, and then obviously he tells John that he's had enough, he's tired, he wants to retire, and he wants someone to take over. And even though he's been trying to kill John, he's actually really impressed by John and would like him to take over. And then there's just the whole thing of fire and fighting, and John almost getting sucked into the wall as well, which was horrific. So did you like the ending of the book and that whole crescendo, Dawn?
I thought it was fast. I think,
it was quick.
There were a lot of like convenient things, and a lot of, you had to suspend your disbelief quite a lot. Like, for example, the storm just happened to be there. You know, they put these poles in ground that just happened to be soft. I mean, I've dug holes in earth. It's really, really hard. Like, it's hard to do.
That's a whole other book club session.
And like the lightning just misses the weather vane and goes to the pole, and there was a lot of convenient things. But at that point, I was just into it, I guess. So it felt satisfying in terms of, you know, everything was wrapped up. But it just feels very fast to me. Yeah, but I like the fact that more people were sucked in, and you could, you know, John was, so we know how it feels. It was cold, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I did like the fact that, you know, it brought the whole cast into one place, so they all came to the house.
The thing with the things under the feet and like them sticking to the earth, that was cool. That was like that was a bit creepy. Yeah, it was creepy. How about you, Kat? Did you like the whole big ending, dramatic ending?
I did. I like a big climactic, big showdown at the end of a book. But again, I felt like it could have been a little bit longer, you know, a little bit of time to sort of really ruminate on all the terrible things happening, because I like that. I liked it. I liked all the weird things going on. I ignored the convenient things, like the storm.
The storm just happening, and the big lightning, and the scaffold poles.
I ignored the things I didn't like.
I like that. How about you, Kit? Did you like the whole dramatic ending?
Yeah, it was good. It was good, rollicking fun. Yeah, and I know what you mean. It did feel quite speedy, but in a way, I prefer that to the alternative in a sense. I mean, to it being sort of dragged out.
Yeah.
I found myself thinking earlier, like, I wonder if it was written today, would Lucy save John rather than the other way around?
Yeah, that's true.
Because she's quite a hard ass, Lucy, I think, you know.
Yeah, she definitely was.
I could definitely see that working. Sort of more contemporary context. But mainly, I just love the whole. I mean, this is not the precise scene you're talking about, but after that, when they're like, right, what are we going to call our estate agency? For some reason, that just really tickled me.
And what was the part where they like sit down and eat cheese pies and crisps? Was that after that?
Oh, the only thing that got me with it, I love the whole ending and yeah, the convenientness of everything that happened. And then I love the fact that we get to see them a little bit later after they're going around, you know, smashing up these bricks that obviously have been planted by Mr. Vane in the houses. But then I was just a bit like, I didn't need the whole Mr. Vane and the big wood statue turning, which was a bit charred and burned, turning back up. Like, I didn't need that at that moment. I was satisfied enough that maybe he's dead, maybe he isn't. But then I guess that may have been put in to set up the whole uncle kind of ending, I guess. But I was just
You
a
could
bit
have
like,
had it without that though. Like if you presume that he
yeah.
died, you could still. But
Exactly. Or like he just turns up at like the uncle's house after he's got the brick off Lucy. That would have been better for me. But I just was like a bit like, oh, does he not die? Which I guess is what the point is, but you know. Just go away, Mr. Vane.
I wondered at that point if it was being set up for potentially a sequel.
Yeah.
You need to keep your villain in the game.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because it definitely did feel like there should be a sequel after this. Would we have wanted a sequel? I would read it, I think.
I thought it trod that line really well between leaving an opening for a sequel if one was commissioned or whatever, but not feeling like it was just being chopped off like a series cliffhanger. And we talked a lot about some of the things that at the end there, like, is there a romance and is Uncle Robin evil or just misguided? And I like the fact that those are left open and they're kind of resolved, but they're kind of not.
Yeah, I like that as well. Becky said the ending was very quick and very convenient, but as a quick wrap up, it was very enjoyable. How handy the weather and the polls happened to be there in situ. Yeah, I bet listening on Audible or audiobook as well was really great.
It's like getting stabbed through Mr. Vane and the statue. Just like with such a comic image in my head.
Oh, one thing I haven't asked you, just quick, is did you find Mr. Vane scary at all? Cat?
I was kind of picturing in my head like a Mr. Burns type character.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So even though he's not likable and he is kind of sinister, I didn't find him scary. You just sort of think, well, how scared are you going to be of like a frail older man, you know?
Yeah. And his description really reminded me of one of the characters out of I can never say this, but Poltergeist 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how his description came across.
His holy temple. Oh, you guys, that guy's creepy.
That's what I mean. So his description came across creepy, but then I was a bit like, I'm not sure he's that scary. How about you, Dawn? Did you find him scary?
No, I didn't.
No.
When the only thing I did find genuinely creepy was when the statue wasn't shown, when it was just like a white face in the window, and when there was like footsteps and creaks and you know, the typical
unseen
stuff. Yeah. But I liked him. I just didn't know. I didn't find him scary.
No. How about you, Kit?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a niche reference. I don't know if anyone's seen Rick and Morty, but there's an episode of Rick and Morty which riffs on Needful Things, the Stephen King book. And there's this guy, Mr. Needful is his name, and he runs the shop of cursed objects.
Yeah.
And he's like thin and got like a pointy nose, and he's got one of those like silly moustaches. And he's like slightly arch, and that's who I couldn't get out of my head from Mr. Vane. That's just who I saw on the top hat and everything.
I can see that.
And because in that episode it's just Rick just like remorselessly taking the piss out of him, but you know, yes, we know that you're selling a typewriter where you write the murder and it really happens. So Mr. Vane was kind of, he wasn't scary, but I found him funny, but I don't know whether that's just in my own head.
I love that. Matthew said, I like that they carried through and destroyed all the rune stones in all the houses except the last one. I think they could have been a whole other book or even a series. Yeah. Sharon said, I wonder if there was more and it was edited out because of word count.
Yeah.
Becky said, I would have taken a sequel. Matthew said I would have read a sequel. And Melina said, yes, Mr. Burns, me too. So overall, did you enjoy the book? Would you revisit it? Did you have fun with it, maybe, Kat?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great addition to the Point Horror Unleashed
Yeah,
series. Yeah, I like
definitely.
this one a lot. I thought it was good.
Yeah. How about you, Dawn?
Yeah, definitely. It was a really easy read. I was intrigued the whole way through. At first, it
Yeah,
was like intrigue as in what's happening, and then it was like, oh, how are they going to fix it? But I never wavered in my
yeah,
interest. So yeah,
yeah. It did
yeah.
keep my interest all the way through. How about you, Kit?
Yeah, I really enjoyed
Your
it. I find it,
first Point Horror Unleashed as
yeah, I
well.
mean, I haven't read a book like this since I was a teenager, which is an exception a long time ago. So,
You said
like,
it last year.
yeah. So I think I've actually found it kind of light and refreshing because normally I read like the darkest thrillers I can find, or
Mm.
like
Okay.
I'm about to become a dad, so I'm mostly reading
Oh,
books about.
congratulations.
Thanks so much. Like, I'm reading stuff about how many times my daughter is going to soil herself a day in week 4, and actually just this, you could zip through it and
Mm,
it kind of reminded me of being a teenager and being into sort of Elm Street and like Friday the
yeah.
13th, and that is kind of nostalgic. So yeah, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
Oh, I love that.
I thought you were
Definitely.
gonna say that you were reading books about like killer children and like alien babies and stuff, and I was like, oh, strange masochism.
Oh dear. Becky said this one was such fun and a winner for me. I borrowed it a lot in my teens and would definitely read it again and again now. And yeah, Becky said, "What a treat for Kit." I think she means the book, probably, and the baby as well. Yeah. um, Matthew said, "I especially liked my copy because it was large print, which made it easier on my old man eyes." But I wondered how much demand there was for large print point horror. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Sharon said, I really had fun with this one. And Claire said, I enjoyed this one. It was different, intriguing, fun, genuinely creepy in places and full of things to research. And then Becky said, oh, Kit, no book prepares you for that stuff, really. Mine's
Yeah.
11 next month, always learning. Mine's 20 and I'm still learning.
Blimey. I'm in that like gloriously naive phase where I'm like, I'm going to be such a thoughtful dad, and just going to
You
sleep through the night, and it's
will.
like, yeah, you're screwed. All my friends are like, congratulations, your life's over. No, we're very excited, but yeah, we're getting all the sleep we can now.
Yeah, I was going to say, get all the sleep you can. And it doesn't end, like, even when
Yeah.
mine son still lives at home, and when he goes out on a night out, I still don't sleep until he's home. So it never ends.
Oh, nice.
Kirsty said, no harm in being prepared for the baby demon possession. I recommend watching Ghostbusters too.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So just quickly, have you got anything new coming up that you can tell us about, like writing wise, maybe, Kat?
I have. I can't tell you what it is, but I've got an announcement coming out really soon.
Ooh, yay! Oh, we'll look out for that. How about you, Dawn?
Yes, I've got my first folk horror coming out in April next year. It's called The Seventh Sister.
Yeah, I love that
Um,
title. It's so good.
yeah, so I had a lot of fun with it. I think folk horror might be my calling.
Oh, I love it. I love that. How about you, Kit? What's next for you?
I'm funny enough. I'm gonna lean into horror. I've been like a kind of a sort of thriller, a sort of Trojan horror author hidden in a thriller author's.
Come to the
Yeah.
And
dark.
I've just been
Welcome.
thinking, life short. So my next book is like kind of a fully sort of haunted house in a kind of modern urban setting I've just started working on it, and I'm about to have a baby. So that book will be ready to read in like 2048.
Oh no, that's so good though. Oh, I can't wait when I look out for all your fab announcements online. And obviously do check out these brilliant authors' books. They're all brilliant, and I always get excited when I see new books coming up from them because I just love them so much. Oh. And thank you everyone in the comments as well, for like all your fab comments and like putting me right about my creepy statue vibes. I'm so glad I wasn't the only one. But thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us, and I'll come back again soon. Yay!
Yay.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone. See you later. Bye.
Bye.